Here's something that caught my attention. I think it did a lot of different people. There are some that love it and some that aren't so sure about it, that Colorado is going to retire the jerseys of Shedeur Sanders and Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter. Now, when I saw this, I'm like, the first thing I thought about, well, first of all, good for them. That's awesome. But then, okay, who else from Colorado has ever had their jersey retired? And we'll get to that list in a little bit. But here are a couple of different responses. John Wilner from the Wilner Report. Darian Hagan, you guys remember him? Hell of a player. He was the National Player of the Year, led Colorado to the national championship, the only one they've had. His number has not been retired. CU should have honored Hagan with the number of retirement long ago. It's good to be the coach's kid. That's from John Wilner. Now, I don't know if that's fair, but maybe you think it's that way. Paul, Craig, your thoughts?
I think that for Travis Hunter, it's more than just winning the Heisman Trophy. Like, you're going to retire the Heisman Trophy winner's number. For Shedeur, maybe it's a little bit, more murky, but do what you want to do. But I do agree that, like, if you're going to put Shedeur in there, then there's other players you probably need to retire their number too because of what they did. But blaming Colorado not retiring a jersey for a guy for 35 years is not Deion's fault. That's Colorado's fault. They should do that. But Deion and getting Shedeur's number retired, all right, whatever. I'm cool with it. I'm especially cool with Travis Hunter. When you have a Heisman Trophy winner,
that's immortality.
If you retire numbers, that's the numbers you should retire, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem right away with Travis Hunter because he is a Heisman Trophy winner, and I do think that there are schools, or I know that there are schools, that if you win a Heisman Trophy or an award of that caliber, you get your number retired, and it's just kind of an automatic thing. And so that's not a surprise, nor is that anything I have an issue with, although I think it's just so quick. Like, I don't know the need to have it, like, immediately when these guys haven't even been off campus for 4 months yet. It's like they just played their last game in January. It's mid-April, and we're like, let's retire their number. It's like, maybe we can just let this breathe a little bit. I don't know. So I don't know what the big rush is outside of maybe they feel like they're not going to have a lot of opportunities to do this. Because it's not like it's going to have a staff in place that coach these guys for the next 10 years so you can do it 6-7 years down the line or whatever. So maybe that was part of the thought process. Maybe he's just taking advantage of the momentum. However they decided it, the Travis Hunter retirement, I didn't really bat my eyes outside of just the speed with which they're doing this. And then with Shedeur, I mean, I can see the case for Shedeur based on the numbers he put up, the school records he set. And I also see the other side of the argument of, okay, is he really jersey retirement right away type of a player a la Travis Hunter? I mean, I think if you take into account certain categories like the impact on the program and school records and things of that nature, then yeah, he probably is deserving in some ways. Now, is he more deserving than Cordell Stewart? Absolutely freaking not. But we'll get to that in just a second about some of the people they haven't retired. So, yeah, I mean, I blame Colorado more than I blame Deion and his staff for not doing what they should have done with former legends and retired those jerseys a long time ago. So the chicken's coming home to roost, I guess, a little bit in that way. And, with Shedeur, I can at least see the argument, but I fully understand those that don't feel like they won enough to justify it, or that he I guess, earned enough hardware to justify it. But I also know that if it was Shedeur Johnson, then the arguments would be a lot different than they are. But it's the fact that he's Shedeur Sanders that really adds a lot of gasoline to the is he deserving or is he not, because it brings in the whole coach's kid thing and the Deion favoritism and all of that. So I don't really have much of an opinion on that argument because I really don't care that much, honestly. I think Shedeur was a really good player for them. I also think if you want to point out that they made a bowl game, which they got destroyed by BYU in, and that was like the height of their winning, then yeah, they didn't really accomplish a lot in terms of the wins and losses. But I do think they accomplished a great deal in completely flipping the trajectory of Colorado football and making it important again when it hadn't been for a very long time. So I can see the angle. Travis Hunter, I don't think there's a question. You win the Heisman, you get your jersey retired. Like, that's not even an argument to me. I just thought you'd let it breathe a little bit more. But I can see the back and forth on Shedeur. Ultimately, I don't care. Like, retire his jersey. He was a big-time player in your program. But it does make you wonder of, like, what are the qualifications moving forward, and are we going to see this a lot more often from Colorado, or is this a special set of circumstances because it's Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter and they were Deion's guys? You know?
Rashaan Salam has his number retired. Tragically, of course, lost his life in 2016. Bobby Anderson had several records during his time at Colorado. He has his number. Joe Romig, his number, two-time All-American. And Byron Whizzer White, what's he known for? Wasn't he a part of the Supreme Court?
Yeah, and clearly he could really pee well.
And he had his number. He, of course, was a phenomenal player. And so those are the numbers. Now, Darren Cheverini, who played at Colorado, I happened to see this one. You mentioned Darian Hagan, Alfred Williams, Deion Figures, Chris Hudson, Eric Bieniemy, Brian Stoltenberg, Christian Faria, Chad Brown, Cordell Stewart, Daniel Graham, Michael Westbrook, and more. So there are a lot. And again, that doesn't mean they don't earn the right to have their numbers retired, but there are a lot of players who have been out for a long, long time whose numbers have not yet been retired.
Yeah, I mean, that's more on Colorado than it is on anybody. I mean, why have you not, as a program, retired some of those numbers by now? And the whole topic only came up because of them doing this now. So, it's not Deion Sanders' fault that they didn't induct Michael Westbrook or especially a Cordell Stewart or some of those other names that you mentioned, a Darian Hagan. I mean, that's ultimately on all of the previous coaches, all the previous ADs, all the previous people would have a say in that. So maybe it was a nice kick in the pants of like, oh yeah, by the way, guys, like there's things like Hall of Fames and jersey inductions, like the stuff you clearly haven't been paying attention to for the last several years that we're going to start doing again because that's what programs do. And maybe this will light a fire that you go back and correct some of the guys like a Cordell Stewart that wasn't in this previously. So maybe it leads to honors for those guys that were deserving all along. But, yeah, I mean, the Travis Hunter is a no-brainer. I totally understand. Shedeur's polarizing no matter what we're talking about. Should he be the number one pick? Should he be a top 5 pick? Should he get his jersey inducted? Should he be this? Should he be that? Quite frankly, it's a bit exhausting listening to the people running circles around all things Deion and his family. But
there are some that are just haters, aren't they?
Of course there are. Yeah. And then there's also very valid reasons to believe that this is only happening because he's Deion's kid. I mean, you can make that argument as well, that it wouldn't be happening 4 months after they walked off the campus for the last time as players. So, it's a typical Colorado story where it's polarizing. But congrats to Travis Hunter and to Shedeur. He was a good player, but yeah, they also went 13-12 over their 2 years there. So there's that.
So Cheverini also made this comment. He goes, the excitement and notoriety that Shedeur and Travis have brought to the University of Colorado was unquestioned, but retiring these numbers before recognizing previous great players, he also went into mentioning that maybe there should be a buffer period, no matter who or what you did before you look at who you might induct into either a Hall of Fame or have a number and or jersey retired.
Well, it's just like the Hall of Fame in every professional sport, right? You got to be 5 years out. You know, I just also give it time to to appreciate. So the fans like, man, I really do miss Shedeur and Travis. Like it's going to be so cool to see them back here as opposed to the first time they each have a bye week in the NFL. They were like, all right, number retired. Go ahead. You don't ever have to come back again.
Yeah, they haven't even been drafted yet. Like, and they're already getting their jersey retired. It's like, that's just crazy fast. And so I know at Oklahoma, they built statues for guys that win Heisman trophies. They've got a whole park of Heisman statues because they've got a handful of them. But that takes a little bit. It takes longer than this took, because you got to make the statue and do all the things that go into that. So it takes a little while and at least gives you a little bit of a buffer. But yeah, I guess if I had a knock on it, it seems awfully soon to be doing something like that, because you would think you'd let it breathe just a little bit. And then, yeah, welcome back after a couple of years away and all that jazz. But then again, maybe they don't think that they're going to be around to celebrate that in a couple of years or 5 years from now. That's kind of where my head is. So let's do it while we're all here, while we can all enjoy it and really embrace the moment is probably where the thinking is.
I love that we have so many different fans that are college football fans. Wet blanket, the numbers at Oklahoma State, listen to this, 21, 34, 43, and 55. Barry Sanders, Thurman Thomas, Bob Fenimore, and he's a hell of a player back in his day, and Terry Miller.
Oh, man.
Those three of them are great All-American running backs. Heisman Trophy winner in Barry Sanders. Fenimore was a great player too. But so there you are with just a few of the feedbacks from a lot of you. Some of you think it's too quick. Some of you like the Travis only. And we all do appreciate your feedback.